Dignitas Academy and Evil Geniuses Prodigies, Dimitri. Fantastic series and such a close one between both of these teams. And an unexpected game by the end of it, right? You see, this is the team fight that changed it all.
Yeah, this is where EGP make the absolute comeback into this game. Dignitas Academy, they were looking to take a 2-0 over EGP, send them to the losers bracket up against FlyQuest. But EGP say, no, we want to continue this. We want to show off that we deserve to continue our run in the upper bracket. And they make a Hail Mary play as they just find an excellent team fight. Even with the flanks coming in from Lorlo and JJ here, it is not enough. Spawn is not able to have the range to deal with some of the members of EGP. And Shiro just completely takes over this team fight. This is their last couple defenses from Dignitas, but man, oh man, I can't believe it. I don't think some of the players in this series would have believed that we'd be going to a game 3 after this game. But EGP have brought us all the way to game 3, and going up against Dignitas Academy, I've been really impressed with how Shiro and Surdy have been playing. I mean, going just a remarkable change from game 1 to game 2. But on the opposite side, I need to see Spawn activated. He got his Kaisa. Maybe didn't have that quite as much range, but I've been loving to see the adaptation between these two teams in their bot meta.
Yeah, too, like you mentioned it, right? Just the bot lane too, being such a presence between these two teams. Shiro, especially, we talked about it before, man. Bringing them back for the brink of death, yep, and bobbing and playing those team fights excellently. His position was clean, and the way he's able to consistently outside, away from danger of Acadian to make sure he does not die was really well done. In most of his team fights, he was full health, which is the craziest part here, Dimitri, especially with 2 shields on the board for him. So like, he was not going to go down anytime soon, but definitely, yeah, bot lane going into this third match will be super, super important between Dignitas and EGP.
And the important thing here is in both drafts now, we've seen them put their bot lanes all the way until we get into that last couple picks for their team, right? We're constantly seeing them pick their jungle and their top and their 2 solo lanes, and then move in to try and secure their bot lanes after a lot of bans. So it's not like we're just leaving up picks really early on. A lot of this has just been EG Prodigy saying, sure, why not? Let's just wait. We'll give our AD carry as much time as they need to really figure out what they want from this draft. And I've been loving it. I've been a huge fan of it so far. And even though it has come at a little bit of a deficit, right? We saw them have to make some desperate plays early on in game 2. This game 3 now, I wonder what the adaptations are. I've always loved when we see these series where, you know, there's different things that get to evolve into their own little tiny metas. And now that we see this, wonder what will happen. Dignitas have chosen blue side for this game 3, so they, you know, it is going to be a counter pick available for the side of Dignitas, or for the side of EG Prodigies. Will they try to get Camille? Will it be gone? I don't know. I'm excited for it.
Speaking about the Camille too, bro, Serdi absolutely popped off on one of his signature champions yet again, right? You saw the setups for him going in later into the game were absolutely immaculate. And I do want to call out one specific play where right near the end of the game where they were knocking out the base of Dignitas Academy, Serdi found the track onto Acadian. He saw that he was separated from the team, immediately tells the team, he's like, yo, this is the play, let's get on to him, collapses down, takes him out of the fight, so that way there was no danger at all for any of the squishies of EGP of dying and possibly they staved off, right? So Surdy definitely, if he's able to have agency in his lane, he'll be able to have more agency in the game.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll have to see. Surdy did have a rough time in that early game, right? He was focused down. He got the first blood onto him. Lorlo then kept kind of just constantly applying pressure to him. So we'll see what ends up happening in this game. We'll see what he gets. Maybe he doesn't get the Camille anymore. Dignitas is like, okay, let's just get rid of it. I don't want to have to deal with it later on. That's the best part about banning it. Sometimes it might not just be that the champion's strong. You just want to get rid of a champion that you find problematic.
Exactly, because honestly, I wouldn't say, like, looking back at the previous drafts, some of the problematic champions we've seen so far have been the Lucian, right? Which is ability to take it off the second game. I imagine it
Yeah.
doesn't go through this draft either. The Kane, though, I might draw a ban later on to the series, but considering they are first pick, I imagine they'll just take the Lilia for themselves yet again. That's been
Yeah.
a priority pick for both of these teams. Both times it was pick blue side B1 right away, bro. No one is gonna get Bambi.
Yeah, apparently Lilia is just like rising to the cream of the crop here for our two junglers here, just wanting to pick her up as soon as possible. There's a few options. I take a look at this and it's like, okay, well, how are we attacking mid lane if you're on the side of Dignitas? Because so far, Yusui has gotten the advantage over aspects. So when you're looking at Dignitas, how do we want to attack this? Do we want to just send up another mage matchup in the mid lane where we see him on the Ori yet again? Do we want to maybe put him on the Orianna this time and allow for me and Acadian? Might have a little bit of a weaker early on 2v2, but a very strong team fight mage that can control the area, which Dignitas have been really good when they're there proactively. Their ability to set up on an objective and put down vision has been really nice when we saw it in game one. So Orianna kind of comes to my mind as potentially an answer there. I would love to see what they pick here. And again, Acadian versus Tomio. So far, Acadian has gotten the advantage each time, but Tomio just late game scaling that Lilia is just too dangerous, man.
The sleeves are terrifying, but going back a bit to the point you're making before, right, Dimitri, we were talking so much about the mid-game team fights for both of these teams. We were focusing a lot about once they get to that 15 minutes, right, and looking at the junglers to be those bridges to get both of those teams there. And Acadian has been able to execute on that, like you mentioned, every single time. So if EGP are to have a chance at this, I'm going to need to see Tomio on a much more comfortable pick, right? And possibly even like something that could shut down Acadian early on. So if they could look to possibly get an early pick onto him, make sure he cannot find the early lead, right? Finally, we might be able to see EGP going into that 15-minute mark just a little bit more ahead, because Acadian, like you said, has been an absolute menace, especially the top side region.
Yeah, so far, I mean, Acadian's been a really good early game playmaker for his team, finding plays on the map. They then also have control of the river. I will say a lot of that is coming off of the mid lane breakdown right now. Yusui is taking control, roaming with his jungler to open up the map, and it makes it a lot easier for Acadian to have access to it. Lily Asleep is apparently just so broken that both teams need to have it at any given moment. And they just need it for team fights, because it doesn't matter how far behind you are as Lilia. If you just flash find that engage, it doesn't matter if you're 3,000, 6,000, 9,000 goal behind. You will just find potentially a team fight win if you get enough people down. So I'm interested to see what the differences in draft are, and if we're going to continue to see Lilia really be that popular pick.
As I believe we'll be heading into draft in just a couple of seconds, Dimitri, and there it is, right up across the board. I expect to see the Thresh ban right away, but no.
Yeah.
Okay, they decide Sturdy doesn't get to have fun anymore.
Look, it happens. They still have another 3. They don't want to. They said, okay, we let go of the ban from game 1. That was one of their changes. And Dignitas say, okay, not again. We cannot allow him to have this champion. So Sardi gonna have to play another champion. Maybe it's just another blind Gnar here from Evil Geniuses, or maybe you dip into his pool a little bit. Gragas still being on the table now, I think, makes it really interesting from what we see from Dignitas. But I can't imagine we see much different here. Evil Geniuses probably just gonna have to ban Udyr and Tristana, and Dignitas something of the like. Maybe ban another support here.
I mean, considering what they have right now, right? Definitely. So maybe I would think that maybe Tomio has a possible counter pick into the Udyr. We've seen Mundo rise up in positive priority, but considering it, Hacker has been taken off the board, so not the same sort of clear speed, right? And that's one thing as well, right? Because we've seen these junglers rise so far into the meta, right? Considering with such fast clear speeds, how much agency they've been able to have. There is a Lucian ban as well. They're taken away from the side of Yusui. I imagine we'll see one more jungle banners. No.
Okay. All right. So this is really interesting now, because Udyr is still up, Tristana is still up, so EG are going to have to take their pick. Which devil are they going to have to let through? Are they going to let through Udyr for Acadian? Are they going to let through the Tristana for either Yusui or Spawn? I would love to see Dignitas pick up Tristana. It plays so well for their mid laner. It is going to be banned, so now they'll have their access to really strong jungler here if they want to go for it, or they just pick Lilia. I don't know. At this point, like, Well, we'll just pick it if we want to.
But there was the Udyr pick you were talking about
Yeah.
before, right? So I was thinking that Dig would actually, the AG would actually let it through the first couple of ban phases. They decided they would rather not play Deshaun randomly Udyr. Now I'm looking at Tomio. I was thinking you might have response for this too. We've seen the Mundo, like I was saying before. Since Hecarim's taken off the table, Lilia is also still on the table. But I thought Lilia doesn't play too well into the Udyr, but that remains to be seen. Gragas might be an option if they wanted to still take that away from the side of Dig Academy and put that on their end as a potential flex pick, Dimitri.
Yeah, I mean, Gragas would be fine. I still think that, like, Lilia, like, yeah, she has a little bit of problems with Udyr, who can just run stun, bear, job done. But when you look at it, like, there's still a few options. Nidalee is like potentially still up there if they're able to get this. A lot of this is predicated on whether or not Acadian can get another early lead, right? It's 3 games in a row. EGP, more than likely, like we see, they're just going to go ahead, pick their Gnar. It's a pretty safe pick, can be punished, but we haven't quite seen that yet. It has been, we saw it in game 1. They did punish it on the TP play earlier on, but it is the safest one, and it means that Lorlo, we're looking at what you're going to pick with no Aurelia there. Maybe he picks up another counter pick. It'd be reaching pretty far in his pool if he does.
Consider the Aurelia was taken off the board, though, so at least not necessarily should be feel pretty comfortable taking this in. Yeah, it's literally like we predicted, right? Lilia has been a must pick for both of these teams in all 3 of these games. Like you mentioned, Dimitri, just putting people to sleep, way too OP, bro, giving them nightmares of them possibly dying. A little bit scary, but we'll see what the response will be from Acadian. Consider this is pretty much just a blind Gnar.
Yeah, I will say one thing, Ravish. Lilia is like really cute, and she's like very much like into sweet dreams. So like, it's more like, oh, like I'm taking a nap. Oh, I'm suddenly off the map. It happens. She's not. I don't think she's one to do nightmares, but that's just her personally. As Lorlo picking up the gangplank. Okay, taking this to Surdy's Gnar. Interesting.
Okay, I actually like this pick a lot here for Lorlo too. We haven't seen this pick a ton for him either, but this Gangplank, I find that he can play a couple of different styles, but the main thing I like a lot of Gangplank is just the global pressure you get once you're able to hit level 6, right? Yeah. And how many barrel chains you're able to hit. As you see, you'll yet again take the Orion off the board, not give an aspect that. As one thing I want to say, Dimitri, you just dropped a banger of a line there, broski. Yo, it's like I think it was some like sweet dreams off the map, something like that. But it rhymed and it sounded really cool, and I wanted to.
Thank you. I try a little bit sometimes. Yeah. EGP picking up Azir here, however. This just means that they're going to have double magic, and if Yasui wants, he can go for Verdant Barrier. It is a little bit nerfed, so we'll see what happens. But picking up a teamfight mage for Azir gives him a little bit of range and allows them to deal with Udyr. If he does get into that back line, you can just immediately shove him away and keep him away from the enemy team. Same thing. It's going to be really dangerous, though. Aspect needs to protect his mid-turret here, because as soon as that goes down, Azir loses a lot of proactivity to be able to walk up into the lane and defend his turret, as well as Gangplank Ultimate becomes super dangerous for this guy.
Definitely so, because Aspect I find in a bit more of a favorable matchup up against Yusui, right? But making sure that he's control of his lane and his wave will be absolutely crucial, and seeing how Tomio be able to play around him, because I find at least now they should have a bit more agency in the mid lane too, something that they've been unfortunately lacking, especially within that first game where they were unfortunately just run over across the entire top side of the map. Now as the next phase of bans come in, Dig yet again taking more and more ADC options off the board. They do not want to see Shiro on the Samira. We saw how he absolutely smurfed in so many of those team fights up against that Immortal series. So it's been a problem ban the entire time. The Varus ban too, though, something interesting, right? Yeah. So Shiro, okay, so we'll see what he has up his sleeve.
Yeah, there's a few options here. So Xayah is still available. They still have Kaisa, obviously. So they're looking for a little bit of a softer AD carry that is going to have a little bit of lower range on the inside of Evil Geniuses. They want to say, hey, we're going to protect them for the time being. And with Relgon, I find this really, really weird, because now Spawn won't have access to his Kaisa. This either Dignitas Academy have something planned for bot lane, like they have a matchup that they've been waiting for. Maybe it's another Ashe pick for them. Maybe it's they pick something like this. But Jinx makes it on through, and now Dignitas, the ball is in your court. Are you going to try and take the Tahm Kench to try and ruin their draft? Try to get, maybe Jinx a little bit uncomfortable in team fights, or what? What is the answer here for Dignitas?
Kai'Sa's still on the board as well. We know Spawn doesn't mind it either. They might be able to pick up at the Ezreal pick as well, but I don't imagine they do consider the composition they already have, right? And the Aphelios is being hovered at, consider Thresh isn't on the board, but still it is locked in. Now, more common than not, I've seen the Braum pick locked in with the Aphelios within a lot of these drafts. And Dimitri, I was saying it in the beginning. I was saying that, with Red off the board, I'm shocked that Leona is not picked up more. And there it is, bro. Leo, baby.
Okay, well, because her older sister Rel is gone, it's fine. We got rid of her, so now Leona can come on through. A little bit undervalued by some teams, but I'm loving this right now. The problem that I'm having is that Aphelios is going to be very dangerous, I think. It is kind of going to be feast or famine, does not have quite the amount of range that maybe he would need to interact with someone like Aspect, and very reliant on having his flash available. So right now, I look at this from Dignitas. They went for a little bit of a protective composition, and they need to be on the play first. They need to be at Baron first. They don't have a mandatory engage button. They do have Leona if they want to go for something, but that is their only way. That is their only way of being able to start a fight. Maybe if Acadian is able to get enough movement speed, you just run straight to the back line. But if they're able to set up at objectives before EGP, if they're able to get there maybe a minute and a half before, this team looks very dangerous. But walking into EGP, I think, is going to be a very tall task.
But walking in, I believe they might do, because considering all the ball delivery systems they have on themselves, especially along with Acadian and JJ, right? So you really be able to get at least all the way to the front line to set up for what could be a really potential and really deadly 5v5 that they have going on. But on the side of EGP, going to be looking a lot at Tomio yet again. This Lilia pick we saw, game number 2, he did quite well on it. Like, it's such a strong pick. And like you mentioned, Sleep is another fantastic team fighting tool which they could use to shut down a lot of what Dig wants to bring out. Because if Acadian goes in and goes to sleep, man, that bear's not going to wake up anytime soon, and might unfortunately wake up back in base, Dimitri. On the other end, right? A lot of good disengage from EGP for what Dig wants to bring out.
I'm like, my brain is just having a hard time wrapping around this Leona. She ever wants to go in, well, Braum throws up the Unbreakable. She's never going to connect with Shiro. And with Cleanse on his side, should be able to get away from any solar flares in the time being. So what I would love to see from Dignitas is try to get these summoners out early, maybe overload onto the bot side, get maybe a summoner or 2 out of them, and then try to focus on them. Maybe then you can go for a re-engage maybe another 20, 30 seconds later on. I think it's super dangerous, and Braum being a fantastic pick yet again. We'll see what happens in this series, as Ravish, we're getting ready to go into game 3 of Dignitas versus Evil Genius's Prodigies.
Oh, so not the penultimate game, but the game that comes after the penultimate game, if I'm saying my English correctly, Dimitri. So the final one going into this series, right? Dig and EGP, they fought hard back and forth, but Dig maintained control of the entire early game for both games of the series, right? So we'll see if EGP might be able to possibly bring one back. There's no early invades on either side, as we will have to watch, I believe, both junglers starting on the same side of the rift yet again. So we will see some early bot side focus.
Yep, we're just seeing the regular 5-point. Nothing much happening. Again, this is going to be on the junglers like we've set up before, time and time again. Acadian has been control of the early game 2 games in a row. Let's see if he can do it here in game 3. Just want to set up before we get into this game for any of the action. We've said this before. Loser goes up against FlyQuest Academy next week, and the winner will be facing up against the winner of tomorrow's match, which is No Org versus Barrage, a matchup that we've seen a couple times in Amateur among the Tier 2s. I'm excited to see that one tomorrow, but coming back to this game, I think it's going to be really interesting to watch Acadian versus Tomio, and it's more specifically Lurlo and Surdy. This is, a Gangplank. He has shown to be able to play this, but I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, Lorlo, what do you do? Are you going to try and play this standard, or are you going to try and play this really aggressive against the Mininar?
Fun fact, Dimitri, Lorlo has
Okay.
actually not played Gangplank in the past 10 series he's played either. It's been a lot of Gnar, a lot of Scion, Renekton, Camille, Jace. Not a single game of Gangplank. You're going to stretch quite far back to all the way back to Giant Slayer to possibly find one of these games. So I'm really excited to see him on the pick yet again, right? So yet again, digging more and more so into the champion pool of Lorlo yet, and I must reiterate, Lorlo-san. I'm so sorry. I'll never say it again.
Oh, is this a Lorlo champ? Is this a Lorlo champ?
This is every champ is a Lorlo champ, Dimitri. Let it be said and let it be done, bro.
Okay, I gotta make sure, because I just don't want him. I just don't want the narrative to be that Lorlo is permanently weak side. That's it's not true. It's false. It's a little bit slanderous. So I just want to make sure that we're doing the players right, man.
Hold on. Who said Gnar was weak side, bro? Nar's been such an impressive top laner going all throughout this meta too. Especially
you're not going to tell me Gnar is a strong side top, but you're not
Gnar
going
is a strong.
to try
Whoa. Okay. I'm just saying, bro. Gnar is decently impressive, especially when you're in that range v melee matchup. Come on, think about it.
Yes, but it should be fine. Like, we're seeing them evenly trade right now. Lorlo is out of corrupting pots, so we'll move out as we're just going to get a vision of both of the junglers. Both of the mid laners taking an early back here, wanting to open up on some pots. It looks like Aspect will pick up the early D ring, while on the opposite side, Yasui will pick up a tier early on. Needs that for this, and splitting open the map. Both of the scuttles are going to be going to their respective junglers, one on the top side, one on the bot side here. Acadian could potentially steal this if he's getting spicy with it, but level 4 onto Lilia, and Yasui has first move.
Yasui's already their Aspect a little bit late to the play, but Tomio has to flash out. So well played by Acadian to burn that from Tomio too.
Awesome. Already getting that flash away from him means that at any point, if Acadian wants to invade and he finds Tomio, that's a dead Lilia.
One thing I want to point out, speaking of Lilia as well, Dimitri, as I'll go and hold my thought, as this is what GG does, this is what Leona does too. As soon as you hit level 3 to go with Zenith Blade, a lot of damage already being put up, but the spawn has blue and purple, so might not be able to fight completely, but at least some good even trades, no sums below in bot side.
I was gonna say, when as a marksman player and as someone who has a bunch of Aphelios, this is actually such a dangerous combination that I think. Obviously, when you get higher and higher, you understand how Aphelios works, but it is deceptively very, very high powered when you have this Infernum. You have a bunch of crowd control that you're not expecting from an AD carry, and the amount of splash damage that the Infernum does is no joke. So already taking an early bit of trade, like you said, Shiro having to blow through all of his health pots and make sure that he can try and stay healthy as Yasui's trying to contest for this wave, trying to do something with it. I wonder if Dignitas are going to try and glide from the bot lane, constantly pushing in to maybe get an early Drake.
Yeah, because one thing I want to point out before as well, Dimitri, if you remember, in both of the games we've seen so far, whichever jungler or whichever team just in general has been able to get both the Dragon and the Rift Herald in a single play, they've won the game every single time. The first game, it was Dega. The second game was EGP, considering that Tomio had a bit of an early push. So in this third game, I would definitely watch out for the play as Dragon being pushed out, though. But, EGP, spot this out, and they will stop.
That is certainly an interesting stat to track. I wonder if there was, a way for us to just, scroll through a bunch of games and see if that were true. It's certainly a very minute stat. I don't think it would have too much credence. It's almost like you're building the goalposts up for certain teams depending on what you're looking for. But yeah, specifically in this series, that is a factual statement. You did not at all lie when you said when you tried to quote that stat.
Thank you.
It's definitely a weird one.
I mean, exactly. So I'm going to point it out because looking at it, it is fun how the ultimate is shaped out. But moving away from my fake stats and looking more so onto EGP, considering they forced the toss off the bear, not so we could look for some early bot side control, get the vision down at least, and we'll get the scuttle. So we'll know at least Dig wants to commit to this as he clears out all of his bot side camps and decides, you know what, I don't see Acadian anywhere. He is on the top side, so they will likely set up for his Dragon.
And look at this. Acadian says, look, I'm not doing my blue buff. I need to move immediately over. Yasui will not have TP, so this is a little bit of a disadvantage. Needs to just clear out his camps on this Oud here, finish this out. And already EGP taking their early game. The dragon will reset, so waste a little bit of time for EGP. But Evil Genius is finding the first Drake of the game. Acadian just trying to cycle through his camps as much as possible. And I'm feeling the itch. I'm feeling the itch, Ravish. This is giving me game 1 vibes all over again.
I know what you mean, but like we can say that about game 2 as well, Dimitri. But
no, game 2
saw
was fast though. Game 2 was fast. Game 2 was we were moving pretty fast. There was a bunch of kills constantly. It was a lot of action. This time around, it seems like we're going to get a repeat of game 1 where both teams just looking to farm, looking to try and cycle through as many camps. Dignitas trying to make early plays, trying to be first out on the map. They've already moved their bot lane and they're prepping for this early Rift Herald.
And now, so far my stat will come to life as of yet, but just good cross-map trading from both Dig and EGP, right? Just taking advantage of the early lane push as well, considering Lurlo pushes wave in and not going bot side. So we will
here's the real thing. Does Shiro steal this with Jinx Ultimate? It's 5,000. No. We've seen a bunch of these. They don't have a vision. They don't have vision on this, so Shiro would have to take the guess. Just have to take the leap of faith. We'll watch. No, Jinx Ultimate comes out. Rift Herald. They're getting close to it. Shiro or Serdi should see it, but okay. It's Rift Herald for Acadian, and Serdi gonna have to invest the TP because he want to try and hold this wave for as long as possible for his bot lane.
What a good guy Serdi is, man. Decided not to take any of his wave, doesn't push it out either, and just like holds it there for them, being like, you know what, I know you might have a bit of a hard time coming up here, but let me just help you out, bro. Shout out to good guy Serdi so far. But yeah. But now as the lane swaps come in, just trying to get some cross-map pressure for both of these teams, considering Dignitas was able to take the Rift Herald as well, do the lane swap early on for themselves. We'll have to see where that is dropped. As let me take your bets, Dimitri. Been doing this almost the entire game. Where is Rift being dropped? Let me see. Let me hear.
Oh, wait, where's Rift being dropped? Why is this? I don't know. I don't like this bet anymore. This bet is not as fun. You're asking me on the spot to do this. Come on, Ravish. I think you could do better than that.
You're right. Okay, RFI. Question number 2. Who gets first blood?
No,
where?
I meant no questions like this. Oh my god, setting me up for failure like this. I just want to see some good League of Legends, right? And when we look at this, we're seeing them make rotations. They're making sure that hey, like we're gonna put down our bot side to immediately go for this Rift Herald. They're gonna then swap back around, try and prep for this Drake, and really with all this swapping, Shiro has come out to a little bit of a lead. Now, Spawn will evaporate with some of that by by getting access to this wave, but it looks like Acadian wants to drop this Rift Herald pretty early on for the bot side.
He should be able to do so, get a couple of plays, he will walk away and try to set up and just farm more and more of his caps, right? As all the lanes are switched back yet again, the Spawn looking a little bit dicey. He's stepping forward, trying to get a little bit of damage out onto Shiro as they move over onto Aspect. He's able to pull out, but gets a lot of damage onto him. Pops his crafting pots, but nothing to be had across the map.
And interestingly enough, we'll watch this. They're going on to Lorlo. Need to watch out for a barrel combo, but he's really close to going to sleep as Tomio getting very aggressive, trying to get some vision on the enemy side, trying to force Lorlo back. It will mean that Serdi will have a little bit of alone time with this turret potentially, but interesting. I find this a little bit strange because you see how much vision they're trying to invest along the bot side, trying to see where Acadian is, and if they're tracking this, Tomio can maybe go for an invade. This entire time he's taking his camps and not really able to punish, so he will lose out a little bit. And then in the meantime, Acadian saying, well, guess what, buddy, I'm taking your camps. That's cool. I get access to your Gromp, I get access to your wolves. But really intelligent from EGP. Their bot lane coming in, they see them on the ward, they say, hey, look, you can't be here, man. You can't be here, Acadian. We're going to make sure that you can't have access to this, as Lillian makes it onto this side. And that would have been really, really good for Dignitas if they were to pick themselves up a couple more camps that way.
Shiro's being a little bit cheeky, stopping the back of JJ, bro. And I hate that, especially when we're trying to sync your backs with your ADC. You decide, you know you'll stay in lane for just a little bit longer, right? But yeah, exactly like you mentioned, Tomio has been able to just farm just so much more than the Cadian. Although he is just about 12 CS up on him too. That was still already maintained the same. All right, one thing I wanted to point out is as of right now, Loro's cannon barrage is down. So if EGP were to look for a fight, I believe right route will be around the time to be able to do it. But
they're TPing in for Shiro. They don't see this TP coming in.
Oh, he's all alone by himself, though. Shockwave is available. He doesn't land onto him as of yet. His miss is there for the support. And they stays about, puts up the shield.
Flash.
They both get there. And now Solar Eclipse all onto him. First blood immediately going over to spawn. But now Aspect at the back. Puts up the Emperor's Divide and puts up 3 on the back of the team. But into Tomio as well, who was scared and running away. Immediately plays back to the team. Aspect taking a lot of damage, but trying to cut out as much as he can. Those Jades is run away, but Lolo might not be so lucky. Pops the oranges, but the vitamin C will not save you today, my friend.
And an even fight all across the board there. They trade 2 for 2 in that fight, or 3 for 2, sorry, in favor of Dignitas. The turret here might even be able to turn this. Look at how long range Spawn is. They go right onto Aspect. And the Jinx rocket, man, it just barely misses. I was so worried for that fight for EGP, not only because of the TP, but Jinx had so little mana before that. So if there was going to be a team fight, Dignitas could have tried to take the advantage there. But Shiro will try to find something, maybe get a little bit frisky on this dragon. No, gets the Drake there for Dignitas, and Spawn absolutely playing to the limits here as Mist trying to stay back, trying to protect their AD carry. They don't see this until it's way too late. Not like a Thresh. If this was a Thresh, you just lantern them out. But watch the flash from Yasui, predicting the flash from Shiro for the sombrero. Gets him, and then they're able to sleep only, so they sleep 3 members, most importantly. And they stall out the fight for Aspect to start putting in a ton of work. But the entire time, look at how safe Spawn is. Has to flash over the wall, gets a little bit dicey, but once he's able to put down this turret, he's able to get so much damage down. They're able to find this kill onto Lorlo. And from here, you're thinking, okay, well, EGP may have just found a Team 5 victory. Surdy on the backside, not really able to be that frontline, means they never get access to this pit. They never get access to really kind of frontline and take away Dignitas' ability to do damage safely. Get a bunch of kills. The rocket goes a little bit wide, just barely misses by a hair.
And you saw there too as well, the Surdy just barely not making it to Mega. So it was a really close trade between him and the Cadian. And now though, but he is almost Mega here as both Spawn and JJ, but all the way at the back, Tomio showing his support for his top laner, as at least top tower will not go down as of yet, but looking towards Rift Herald. Dimitri. Almost everybody's here. They want to fight for this.
Here's your stat. Here's your stat. Okay, Dignitas, they might be able to go for this. There's a level lead for Acadian, but Dignitas are just backing up. They don't want to fight into Meganar. So no, sadly, the stat disappears into the night. There will be no taking Dragon, and then immediately getting Rift Herald. Sorry, folks at home. I know you're really excited for an incredibly niche and useless stat, but that's what we're here for.
Whoa. Okay, look, I'm just saying, man, that's come to fruition 2 games out of 3 so far. It is just unfortunate that this time it did not. So, but it all remains to be seen. Maybe they'll find something else to pick out across the board for this. But now, at least with Surdy backing up, he had to back and try to get a little bit out of it for himself. This top tower will go down. And I believe that EGP just might be looking to possibly to spawn bot side, but the wave was so pushed in. But at least now Dig go 1 for 1 for bricks.
Yep. And it'll be probably a while if they really want to throw the spot lane. I mean, Lily is literally sitting in top river. My best bet is try to do something mid lane here. You have the priority. You're going to try and push this in. This would allow for Tomio to finally get some access into the bottom side of Acadian's camps. Yep. So you could try to steal another Raptor pit. JJ was looking like he was going to go for a flank, but is going to reset here. All Dignitas need to do is just defend this, just take a couple more. And with Surdy no longer able to be Mega, it's just going to, hey, we're just putting down Rift Herald a little bit prematurely. Maybe could have saved that for the Drake coming up in 2 minutes.
Now, although my stat dies, the Drakes will still stay alive, right? You mentioned with already Tomio being first to take and getting early scuttle control. We've seen this from him the entire game. And considering his Cloud Soul again, so we'll be able to swing the favors to either team, like really just across the board. But at least, now with this, right? EGP looking a lot better, and honestly, like a lot more even going into this mid game, because before you found that Dignitas had control of the entire early game going into the first 20 minutes, right? They were extending the leads as much as they could. EGP picking it back up here, Dimitri.
EGP, they're coming back into it. They're still 2,000 gold down, but it's definitely one of the closest ones that we had at 5-2 already. It's feeling like, hey, EGP are still waiting. We're still waiting on Shiro, right? We have 2 hyper carries in this game with the Jinx and the Affilio, so they're just waiting to try and get a little bit more scaling. We have a Drake coming up in 50 seconds, and with some of the resets already, with Braum late on the reset from Mist, just means that Dignitas will be first on the play here.
Still now, both just Aspect and Lurlo just try to match. Actually, Aspect in his lane just try to because of the gain. Side of control is already doing the exact same on the opposite side, right? With him being able to push out, that does at least give them the bot side for EGP. But no, at least a Spawn and JJ move on over. Both these teams want to really fight over this dragon. Everyone is on the map. No one taking any of the other resets. TPs as well, Dimitri, are both up for 30 and Aspects. If you wanted to possibly come into the game, it would be available for Lurlo too, as he's backing just now. Cannon Barrage used to clear out the wave. So no one really going to be out of it yet, as Dragon will now spawn.
Look at the positioning here for EGP. They were setting up on the top side, trying to find something. Maybe they're just going to try and take these camps away. So they're setting up Aspect to get a turret for himself. They're going to get a lot of camps. Tomio should just be able to completely cannibalize this top side of the jungle, take all 3 of his camps, and they'll trade this for a Drake on the opposite side. I think Lurlo is fine with giving up all those camps, but the entire time, it looks like they were setting up kind of a little bit of a death brush there, trying to protect the mid lane. Maybe they could have made for a push. I don't know what they would go for, as Tomio gets the flash out from Lurlo.
He's not asleep as of yet, though, but literally looking to take him down, and there we are, the smack onto the pirate.
Wow. Okay. There you go. Awesome. Wow. I mean, it was just like that. Tomio didn't just waited to use ultimate until the last second and got the kill. Awesome.
Which, by the way, can I just say, it's like whoever named the abilities of Lilia too, it's like, although like I like it, but also like just watch out, eat for me is a little bit like whenever I say it, I feel a little bit, I don't know about that. What's up?
I remember the first day that we saw Lilia's abilities, and I remember talking with all the other play-by-plays, and I was like, yeah, good luck saying this one, coach. I believe in you, man. I remember watching that. I was like, yeah, okay, have fun with that one.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a little smackdown, a little bit of a Wingardium Leviosa for me. As I think that's not a little bit a lot better for myself. But yet again, EGP, right? Recognizing the advantage across the map. They saw Katie was on the dragon. They're responding on the top side, getting more of a top side push. They're trying to consistently maintain waves on these side waves, right? And now, as they move themselves more onto focusing on the mid lane, they don't have the hail for themselves. So we're able to knock it down to one swig, which trying to maintain control. Tommy is on the top side, on the side here. Wants to look for something, but the wave is in their favor.
Surdy's mega.
You need to look for this get down the solar eclipse, but nope. Nobody staved off. Sure puts the rockets. Everybody's okay.
Okay, everyone was like, don't touch my turret. Like TikTok was like, don't touch my turret. And EGP's like, I want the turret now, please. They're trying to force for it. If they really wanted to, they could have gone for a flash, but if they're able to get that out from Shiro, maybe if they're able to get out maybe his flash or his cleanse, it would have been a really good trade there. But simply just a solar flare and a little bit of a defensive posturing from Dignitas. You saw how they pulled all 4 members onto the map to try and save him. Try to save this mid turret. They're trying to keep this up for as long as possible, because the first, both of these outer turrets are gone for both of these teams. The first team to kind of lose their tier 1 will lose a ton of their jungle camps to the enemy team. So trying to keep this up as long as possible means really good things for both of them, as Tomio and Acadian are keeping neck and neck. If you just look at this gold, it is 200 favor of Acadian, but this is a little bit better of Acadia. He's just trying to keep up with this Lilia.
Because we were looking at it before, Acadian has consistently maintained control in this jungle matchup for the past 2 games, Dimitri. Every single time we see Acadian on the board, he's consistently been able to exert so much more pressure, just denying Tomio of almost all of his camps, right? Although Tomio was able to come back in game number 2, but the pressure felt by Acadian was absolutely exponential. We were also looking at how they would be able to affect the bot side. As of right now, we're seeing it. Look, Like Spawn right now, 2-0. Looking really good on the Aphelios, already 2 items, but so is Shiro. So no team is really super behind. In fact, Shiro even has like 10 CS lead, but Spawn has like 2 kills. So I guess it kind of makes sense.
It makes it. Look, they even out. There's a little bit of an experience differential, but this game is literally just all team fights. We are waiting for team fights. Both teams are playing incredibly defensive. They don't want to be the ones to make the first mistake and get blown up in a team fight. So they're just waiting. They're just trying to get down as much poke as they can. Not enough members on the side of EGP to really defend this, so they're going to lose a little bit. Cannon Barrage coming out.
Immediately the bots on the solar eclipse, and immediately just like that, Misses already gone. The flare was too much for him. The blinding lights he could not see, so he will go back to base, unfortunately. Nice little pick, but yet again, EGP saved the mid-turret. None of these teams want to give up the mid-turret division.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked like just a simple trade of ultimates, and obviously with him going down, Dignitas do not end up getting the turret. But the important part here is we have a dragon the next minute, and there's no flash on Jinx. This Jinx no longer has the summoner spell, so I wonder if EGP are just going to say, look, we were going to trade this Drake, we'll trade you the Cloud Soul for the mid turret, and we'll just call it a done deal. Because if Jinx goes down here and they're able to get the turret and the dragon, I mean, Dignitas just shoot to a massive lead immediately.
EG are looking for some sort of proactive play between the two teams, considering Dragon is up in just another 30 seconds, right? This would put EG at least on even with Dignitas, and on Dignitas yet again onto Soul Point, Dimitri. And I feel like we've been in a situation just so often as Mist is not already back. So now both these guys posturing to fight as 5. Surdy is almost mega, so he's just saving himself. I do definitely want to watch Acadian and where he decides to go. The Aspect bot side, it might try to collapse onto him because he does have TP if we needed to get into the fight. But Dignitas are first to the Drake, and Acadian should be looking to start it. Ooh.
Watch this. JJ's taking a ton of damage. Surdy
might be dead. Strikebreaker is in it just like that before he even turns mech. He's already gone. Narsbar's back with just 1 though, but they cannot follow up on Decading. He's just so fast. But still, support picks across the board between both these teams, so nice little picks, but I imagine neither of the mid turrets go down here, Dimitri. Spawn takes a lot of damage.
I mean, EGP are literally, like, both of these teams are just ping-ponging waves. The one that can get the objective, get to the mid-turret first will just win, but Tomio trying to solo out this. And in the meanwhile, Dignitas are trading for Baron. They realize that they can't quite be in this position, and Surdy gets found out.
Nice shockwave to his cannon right in the middle. The cannon barrage down as well onto Mist as Shiro. They get chunked down to about half the rocket, though. In response to a lot of damage, Aspect looking at a possible trade, but and there he is. The soldiers cut down the pirate, and now, on the other hand, at least, the Lilia will get Dragon and the mid turret, so Dobbs all around for EGP.
Yeah, EGP, they're now able to get the Dragon. They also get themselves the mid turret here, so opening up the Drakes, opening up the objectives for themselves are what EGP are doing. They're still down in gold, but honestly, I think it just doesn't matter at this point. You look across the board, they're able to find that win. Surdy does end up going down, but being able to stop Dignitas from taking the trade just means that they're slowly kind of slipping from that lead that we had them for.
And now for me, for EGP, as we'll see the replay again, I think they take us into that, Dimitri, but because Dignitas is exerting so much control.
Yeah, they have control of this, so Surdy having to be the first one to walk up, especially with no Mega, is a little bit strange. But the Cannon Barrage stops them from getting so much damage, and Lorlo with just a beautiful stopwatch. And he does end up dying, but it just means that Jinx doesn't end up getting the kill for it. So it does mean that Aspect will pick up a little bit more. It's another 300 gold in his pocket, but Ravish, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it a little bit. EGP, they're starting to kind of climb back into what was a reverse sweep in the series, because they are. I mean, right now you take a look at it. Right, they are sitting here with a Jinx that is untouched. She is 0-1. It is going to be on Spawn. Spawn needs to have basically an insane team fight, which I think he still has in him, considering he's farmed up, he's getting ready there, and he's getting to that point on Aphelios where he has his rune-ons, and I think he's itching for a team fight.
You know he is, because before he had those red and white, so it's almost time to fight for him, Dimitri. but they're not looking to spawn in the mid lane. I was trying to say before, right now for EG, just go ahead and hold off. We're probably
TP coming in behind.
He gets to 30, is Mega looking for big play, gets in, Mega onto one only, but look at spawn on the backside. He's completely untouched. He has blue and green, but that means that PG Keen still Dimitri. No kills on either side, but the cannon brush saved them
She's
out.
excited.
Jamia goes in, she's excited, she's ready, looking for a lot more reset. Shiro, it's the first kill of the game, but now EGP trading 1 for 1.
Yeah, and this just means that they can maybe walk into the Baron. I think it's still very dangerous. They're calling in the TP with no cannon barrage. Lorlo's going to have to find a flank. Maybe Yasui. He doesn't have a shockwave either. EGP still going to have to deal with all this Baron damage. It's a ton, and still blue guns here for Aphelios means the damage is huge. 2,000. Here we go.
Oh, Mist takes so much damage to likely die, but she's already actually missed an arbor at the back, so Mist will not die. At least he could go for an even trade, as not all of EGP, they don't want to fight. They're looking to spots to get out. So they're putting down some stuns.
Oh, Aspect
goes in. A massive Emperor's Divide will get all three. Now Lord, the rest one left alive. They have to get away, but the soldiers will shut him down as Shiro picks up the kill, and is just JJ left.
Oh my god. Okay. I love Aspect now. He has a complete redemption in this series as he finds a massive win. You'll see in the picture-in-picture, they are pushing down in topside, trying to do as much, but you'll watch this TP, and look at how defensive Dignitas have to play. Dig, or Spawn with an amazing flash here. You're thinking, okay, well, Aphelios is firing uninhibited, but the Infernum does not land. And then, I mean, they're able to find the one kill, and this allows them to go straight into this Baron. And Dignitas going for a really desperate attempt to try to stop this from happening. You look at how many ultimates they don't have. All of them are not available. The flash is the same. So they're just trying to use as much damage as possible. This is all on Spawn to try and get these guys away from the objective. You see Mist, he's blocking all of this. He's blocking their entrance. You'll end up going down, and I mean, as they're coming out of this, Aspect sees the angle. They're going way too far up. Just watch this sweep. It is beautiful. It gets right into the back line. Here we go. Shurima shuffle in. Dignitas Academy out.
One thing I wanted to point back as well, Dimitri, as you hearken to it in draft, right? How is Acadian going to get into the
Shiro's
EGP
damage,
back
Jesus.
line? And you saw that the team fight is barely able to do so, as Shiro is chonking the members of Dignitas Academy. They cannot be in front of him at all. These rockets take, honestly, hundreds, not even that point, not tens, bro. This is danger for them to fight as the wave comes in.
They need to find something, because it has to be off of a cannon barrage, and this is what we were talking about. This is all on JJ to try and find engages, but without any kind of hard CC, without a dedicated tank, JJ's just kind of in a really rough position right now. I don't want to blame him for anything, but it's super tough for him to go right in and for the rest of his team to follow up. Yasui has to land basically the miracle shockwave and try to find something. As EGP, they will finish off the last tier 2 for Dignitas. And with this Baron, they could potentially even set themselves up for a Cloud Soul. But, I mean, Jinx being excited, you get as many kills as possible. You get the one kill, and suddenly the fight is just over for Evil Genius and Prodigies.
Dragon has spawned, like you mentioned, at least this will be sole point for Evil Genius's Prodigies too, now only extending their lead more and more so, Dimitri. And now the question is, how does Dig come back into this game? What do they have to do?
Dignitas, they need Acadian to get in this backline. Just rush it. Just bum rush it at this point. They're going on to Shiro. Flash cleanse. He's out. Okay.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He also ultimates. So trying to maybe he's trying to steal the Raptor camp from Tomio. Maybe he's like, okay, you're not getting those from me. I'm just gonna steal this from Acadian. He's not allowed to have them. But gets every single summoner spell out from EVGP, and there we go. That is one way that Dignitas can come back. Now that they know Jinx does not have summoner spells, you can go and reconnect, and if they're timing aspects, they know that Azir and this Jinx don't have theirs. So potentially a play if they're able to find it. I think that that is where they can try to at least find an angle back into this game.
They have to be proactive about it, right? They have to be looking first for them to, because that again, Acadian with with his just minimal access into the backline of EGP, being able to shut down Shiro is definitely one of the most important things they have to do, just to be able to take away just so much damage that EGP currently hold. But past that as well, right now, Aspect, man, he's been an absolute monster on this Azir, getting the favorable matchup into the Orianna, consistently having a wave push as well, and somehow finding, like, I wouldn't even say sneaky picks, but taking advantages of chaotic team fights, and just that last play just really set him on the board for, like you say before, Dimitri, right? This man become amazing as Baron spawns at the minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, and a lot of this is coming off of Aspect and his side lane play. Now, we aren't seeing it here as they're just constantly putting 5 members or 4 members onto one side of the map to overload, but during this game, Aspect has, you know, we've only caught glimpses and peeks of it, but he's been sitting in the side lane picking up farm while Yasui has to group with his team. He's been picking up a little bit of gold here and there, and 4, 1, and 5, he gets to sit up on this massive gold bounty. Another target on his head, potentially for Dignitas to try and go for, but every now and then, whenever he can step away from the team fight, when he's not needed there, he's sitting on the sideline, picking up picking up a wave here, going and picking up another wave there. I love seeing this, seeing him play this Azir, and so far has had a fantastic game 3.
Decided not to pick up the ego books though, which you call as well, also known as the Magi Stole Stealer, right?
Yeah.
So opting in to go into the Rabadons instead, which is a safer play, but I would expect that from him considering just how far the Eddie is and the potential of how much burst he could possibly put out. And as his Baron spawns in the next 10 seconds, Dignitas Academy need this Baron if they are to stay alive in this series and have any hope of taking that EGP to start it up.
Yeah, they need to go for this. They need to find it. Look at where Acadian is. He is so far in the back line. They need to be able to protect where his positioning is. He's running straight for the back line. JJ's taking a ton of damage. Cannon Barrage.
Immediately they find him too, but Acadian puts a lot of damage onto Shiro. He's almost dead, and they find him with that. They needed to do so, but look at this. The backline Aspect is smurfing. His team fights a double kill at the end of it, but no, he's alive. He's a little bit golden, and Ilias prancing and dancing around every single other person. And Surdy with a clean up Gnar. They don't even need the ADC, Dimitri, because they have everybody else. And EGP win the Baron team fight, and they'll likely win the game, because look at Aspect. He's knocking at the nexus of Dig.
Yes, they are TPing in, like you said. Aspect with a fantastic team fight finds the pick onto spawn. They say, okay, cool, you killed Shiro, but remember, EGP have more than just Shiro, as Surdy, Tomio, and Aspect last ones to finish out the game. EGP with a much closer game than what we got from them. 2-1 over Dignitas Academy. A fantastic game, and definitely one that I felt, you know, hey, when we were talking to Ido, he said, look, this team is more than just the Shiro show. We want to show that this is more than just our bot lane. And I think we got a little bit of that in every game. Obviously, game 2 was a little bit more so him, but now with Surdy and Aspect able to step up in these games, it's been a pleasure to watch, and they will go on to face the winner of tomorrow's match. And oh man, EGP are looking dangerous, especially if they're able to get the ball rolling for them.
Yes, sir, like you mentioned, right? Getting a little bit of early control in their pocket. If Tomio has some agency, and if Aspect is on a favorable matchup, right?
Yeah.
Any one of these players could be the one to make the difference in this series. And EGP pull off the reverse sweep against Dignitas Academy, who will now fall and have to face the winner of FlyQuest Academy after this as well. So yeah, that should be another fantastic matchup to watch, Dimitri. But I gotta say, man, I am impressed would be an understatement for the EGP.
Yeah, another amateur team has knocked out Academy, so they're not quite out of the tournament yet. Like you said, Dignitas have another chance in the lower bracket, but this game was all Aspect the entire time. You know, there are some supporting cast members, but I loved what we saw from Aspect and from Tomio. Something of a little bit of a missing link for me when I was looking at this team was how do the two kind of link up, and they were just on point this game. We see in this one, he just evaporates Spawn in this last fight, and they were constantly looking for plays. We saw in that first replay, they're able to kill Lorlo on the side lane. They're then able to get more and more gold into Azir's pocket, but I cannot enough sing the praises of Evil Genius's prodigies as they find the win in the series, backs up against their wall, against the wall here, and they will continue on a great series, definitely a close one, and I think one that if you're Evil Geniuses, you really want to kind of review it for it.
Yes, I believe we will have the Verizon interview for the final interview as well. I didn't quite catch the name of who we see.
It's Shiro!
We have Shiro! Shiro, can you hear us? Are you there with us, brother? Reach out to us if you can.
Oh no!
Sure.
Okay, I thought he was. I thought he was weird champing us because we were like really hyping him up. But okay, hopefully we will get Shiro in here. Oh man,
just a couple of seconds, man. But yo, like Shiro right in front of us, brother. Shiro, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Shiro. Hey, there we go. We did it. We got him out, bro. Firstly, bro, absolutely fantastic series between you guys going up against Dig. Like, great job on the reverse sweep. So talk to me a little bit about, going for that game 1 to game number 3. It was definitely tough game 1 for y'all. So how'd y'all shake it off and move in going forward into game 2 and 3?
After a disappointing loss on game 1, we decided to shake things up a bit and pick the Callista, which was definitely not my comfort pick at all. But then once we were losing, I thought all hope was lost, and then I just tried to take all the advantages I could in game 2. While they were pushing bot, I was pushing top and getting as much gold as I could, and then somehow we got some miracle fights in, and then we bounced back. And then game 3 was just, we just didn't die.
Yeah, just win. That was definitely a super anime arc there for Shiro. Shiro's like, oh, all hope was lost, and then, I just came in. I saved the day. We had some miracle fights. You can be humble if you want, but that was a fantastic job from you guys. Coming into this, I mean, what has it been like to, this is another academy team that now you guys have been. It seems like you guys have the Kryptonite versus some of these teams. What does EG? What is EG given to you guys? Because both squads for this organization are on a tear. Like, what is the org doing for you guys that it's just so awesome?
What are you eating?
I'm not eating anything. I was chewing gum earlier though. I would like to give props to Kelsey and Peter. They have helped us tremendously with their coaching ability and their one-on-ones and just overall VOD reviewing. They are so great at what they do, and I think they're awesome. They are definitely the reason why we're showing up.
Awesome.
So, literally just Kelsey and Peter diff across the board. You love to see that. Now, one of the final questions for you as well here, Shiro, right? You guys will be facing the winner of Barrage versus No Org going into the next series, though. Are you excited to face any of the team? Because I believe if Barrage does win that one, that would be the first time you guys have actually gone head-to-head ever since Proving Grounds has actually started. So, you're looking forward to the matchup. Are you confident about it? You're thinking we'll think about it when we get there?
Going into Norg versus Barrage, I am definitely excited to face either team. They are definitely one of the best amateur teams in Proving Grounds, and I am very excited to face either one. If it is Barrage, then go after them. I hope we can show them what we've been doing.
Awesome.
Okay.
I was thinking about it during that last answer. I was like, man, Empire is just like so sad right now. He's like, Shiro did shout me out. You got the other two here. Empire. It happens. It happens. I'm sure you didn't mean to.
Empire knows.
Okay. Okay.
That's what's up. But Dimitri, any questions that you had for Shiro or no?
Great job tonight. You guys did, it was a hard series, and looking forward to what we see from you next week. I've got nothing else, Ravish.
All right, appreciate you, Shiro. That has to be everything from us, man. So, really, thank you so much for hopping on and talking to us, bro. Fantastic series. We cannot wait to see the rise and growth of EGP throughout Proving Grounds. Amazing stuff across the board. As I believe that'll be everything else from everything. Hear from us from now as we'll go to do a short break. And when we come back here, Dimitri, we will have our second series of the night, that being TSM Academy versus Dig Mig, also known as Mirage. So we'll see you when we come back.